for me, my entryway into learning about assistantship was actually doing a little bit of it, but I never did the full on, like being 100% with the composer all the time. Most of my experience being an assistant before I took an assistant was helping out other composers here or there, spending like maybe working with them on a project and not being in their studio every day. The exception to this was actually Laura Cartman, who, I don't know if you know her, but she's the founder of the AWFC. She's a phenomenal composer, and she's also governor of the composer branch of the Academy of the Oscars. And her assistant at the time was Emily Rice, who some of you might know, and she had to go back to the UK to spend some time with family. So I was asked to step in for just a little bit. So I did have an experience of, spending, for a while, almost every day in another composer's studio and doing random stuff for them, which was a great education for me. And the one thing I'll be able to tell you is that every composer is very different, and every assistantship that you will do with a composer is going to be very different, because every composer has such a unique workflow, which is one of the super cool things about this industry. So that was my experience on that side of it. And then I think in about 2014, and correct me if I'm wrong, Robin, but I was hosting a networking event, like a monthly networking event here in LA for composers and filmmakers to get together. And I met Robin and his wife, Jess. They came on by, and after seeing them at a few networking events, Robin came up to me and said, "Look, I would love to be your assistant. And, I just need to learn more about the industry, and I want to see you work. And, I just feel like I would benefit from being in the studio with you. So I would do it for free, but will you please, will you consider having me come on and be your assistant?" And I hadn't even considered it at that point, but I had a few projects coming up where, as I got to know Robin, I knew that he had like a background in Pro Tools and things like that. So I was like, sure, like, I'm not going to let you do it for free, but yeah, there's probably like some way that maybe I could bring you on. And so we kind of just fell into it from that point. And that was for me the beginning of having an assistant. And it felt like really weird and professional saying my assistant Robin, which, gives you kind of a status push. But it was the beginning of, I think, a really valuable experience for me as a composer. And it's been a great learning experience. And I don't want to go too much into that because Justine has a massive list of questions. But really, that's how the adventure started for me. We just kind of dove in with both feet.